Hello everyone, it's Andrew from GemTCG, and for today's video I want to talk about something that I heard from a recent video from Rudy with Alpha Investments, and he was just talking about the market as a overall thing, including Magic, Pokemon, One Piece, all that, and I want to focus on what he said for Pokemon because I feel the same way about it, about what he said, which is that the market is most likely at, obviously not the exact bottom because you can never time that, but it is near the bottom, and I think it's going to continue going back up again right now for many reasons. And I want to just look at a few different items to show you guys what's going on with the market and just talk about what I've been experiencing. So, just for prior context, over the last 2 to 3 weeks, the market has been cooling down. Many people have been panic selling their collections, trying to get out of, not even just get out of the hobby, but just dump all of their inventory and do all this type of extreme behavior because they think that the market is crashing, it's going to be a bear market starting next year, whatever they want to say. But truthfully, I think that is a very strange thing to think because there's just so many signs that it's not actually crashing, and there's so much demand and support still for the card game, Pokemon as a whole. And I think overall, by the time Christmas or New Year happens, the market will have for sure hit like the lowest it could go and will continue going back up. Because if you look at like in the past, whenever a base set comes out, it's typically a weaker set and there's not as much demand for it. And then so there's some like with the popularity of the card game as a whole, like with Scarlet Violet base, when Scarlet Violet came out, many people were bearish or like big fans of that block and of that set, and it caused a huge downturn in the market. But then we look at, and that was even because end of Sword and Shield was huge and still like high demand. So for it to have such a big effect and big shift when Scarlet Violet came out, it was pretty shocking. Because if you look at the final few sets of Sword and Shield and how the market was, it was pretty good, and like sets were all great. We had Crown Zenith, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, Astral Radiance, like all great sets. And then Scarlet Violet comes out and it just tanks. Like the market just went down significantly, and it took quite a few sets for it to go back up. But then with Mega Evolution block coming out, there was no impact. And some could say like Evolutions just feels like another set from Scarlet Violet and whatever, but still, the fact that a new block came out and it had in it like that upward trajectory of the market, I think that's a huge sign and huge like that the market is here to stay and it's not going to just crash for no reason. And if we look at how Mega Evolution Booster Box has been performing since its time of release, which was around I think mid of August 18th, it peaked at 314, and then ever since it has just been going down. So right now it's at 240, like 238. I think obviously that's pretty, like for a new set that is higher than normal, but still, compared to how other sets have been performing, and with the like cards set, I still think that is pretty low, and I don't think this price will be here to stay in the long run. I think like right here we're seeing a definite bottom on a large scale. I'm not saying it's not going to go down anymore, but this is probably the lowest it'll be for a while, or like if not ever, because usually when boxes go up in price, they usually don't go back down to previous lows. Like a lot of people panic and they see, let's just, I don't know, this is not an actual number, but let's just say Evolving Skies went from $3,000 to $2,000. Many people would say like, oh, crashed so much. But if you look at it and you see like that came out and it was worth $100. So you're still up 20 times your money. You know, like you still have to look at it that way. You can't just say, oh, it's crashing, but then you look at the bigger picture and see that it raised 2,000%, but it only corrected 20%. So think bigger picture when you see these downturns, and don't just look at it in the short-term market, because if you're in it for the long run, then the short-term volatility should not impact you. And surprisingly, it doesn't look like there was a ton of sales during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday that they had, which is I'm pretty surprised by, because you would think that most people would just be buying sealed product during this time period, and there probably was, but usually you see like a bigger, like something like this bar right here. And if we look at prismatic, now this is what I was talking about, like 250 have sold on the Black Friday event, which is pretty significant. And still looks like the market is crashing, but these sales definitely, like, they have to some time to kind of reflect in the price. I don't think it updates instantly, but with this amount of sales volume in that short of a period of time, I could see these prices going up more in the future. And if we look at like what it 135 in the last 6 months, but I'm pretty sure it was even higher than that. Yeah, in January it was so still high compared to like what it used to be. It used to be $98, which is pretty crazy. But if we look at Destined Rivals, another great set, I think this is the best set from Scarlet Violet. Obviously, the price is reflecting that. This is an insane. I would not pay $417 for this. Even if it hits 1,000, like, I am just too averse to be putting money, like paying this high of a price for a set that came out a few months ago. Or was it a few months ago? Probably longer. I don't know. Oh, wow. Around March. So more than like several months ago. But still, obviously, I do think this set is going to just be the best set from Scarlet Violet, but I don't think I'm willing to put in money at that price point. I'd rather just put it into like older sets that are worth less, or newer sets that are much cheaper now, because I think they will go up in the future. And if we look at, I'm just cherry picking some singles. I just know that the Mew EX is like one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive from Scarlet Violet. So I want to look at how it's been performing. And I saw some posts on Instagram the other day, and it was like the top chases are going down a lot in price, which is pretty understandable. Like, when a market crashing, people don't want to just be buying expensive cards because the downside is so huge. Like, if you just, this card went from $700 to $528 in the span of 3 months. So that's a $200 and 24% decrease in just 3 months. Like, people don't want to be buying those cards. And also, when they need money, selling the expensive card is the easy way to go, because you can, it's just one, like, it's less sales, get more money. So you typically, that's what you'll see people panic sell in desperate times. And still, like what I was talking about earlier, this card used to be $300. Before then, it used to be, obviously, like, the time doesn't go farther, but it used to be much cheaper too. And now it's still higher than what it used to be. Like 78% increase in months, but then as you shorten down the time span, it's a more negative. So still look at it like that. Don't just look at this picture. Try to look at this picture as well. And then if we look at a brand new set like Phantasmal Flames, this one is going down to 23% in the last 3 months. And I know it's hard to think like, wow, a set is going down after release. Like, that is unheard of. But that is the pretty common thing when in a normal market. Sets should not be coming out and then being 2x the price in the span of a month. Like, sets should come out and the market price should reflect that and also go down as supply comes to the market. It should not be coming out and then the market price goes up. Like, that's not a thing, and you should not expect that when you're looking at sets in general. So to see this, obviously 23% in 3 months is pretty significant, but this is a much better sign than seeing something like another set. I don't know, probably Surging Sparks was a good example. Like, it comes out and it's just instantly a huge increase in price. So overall, I think we're definitely not at the bottom, but towards the bottom, I would say. And what I would do is just continue buying things. Don't go all in and don't like heavily invest what you're buying or spending. But just like, if you have some extra funds, buy some sets here and there, buy some booster boxes and ETBs, and just try to continue growing your portfolio or investments. What I've been doing is I've been buying Prismatic still. I still think it's too low, but who knows? I mean, when it was 100, I bought it when it was 135, and I'm still buying it again at 118 because truthfully, I don't think it's going to go down below 100. And if it does, I don't mind, but the downside is much lower for that, which is why I do it. And that's something that Rudy talks about as well. It's like, look at compared to the upside. With Prismatic being 115, the downside is like maybe let's say it's $80 because I don't think it would go below that. But let's say it hit 80, and that's a 20 to 30% decrease in price. But let's say it hits 200. That's a 2 times like double my return. That kind of like the upside is much greater than the potential downside, and that is why I'm willing to make that investment. Whereas why I'm scared for Destin Rivals is because this could, I'm not saying it will, but like it could go, and it could go down to 300 or 200, or it could go up to 1,000. But those numbers are just too significant for me, and I'd rather not do that, even though it could be a good decision. I'd just rather play it safe, kind of. And still, singles, I don't understand why it's so low. Destin Rivals, again, has a great set list too. But if you just compare the top 4 from here, the average price is around like 200 to 300. The top 4 from here, let's not include Umbreon because it's just so much more expensive. This is around 300 easily. Actually, more like 250. But still, these are my 2 favorite sets, not including 151. I think 151 is very expensive right now for people to just like begin investing in unless you have a lot of capital available. But 151, Prismatic, and Destin Rivals are definitely the top 3 sets from Scarlet Violet. And overall, I know I'm just looking at a lot of numbers. It's very interesting to look at these things for me. But overall, I think the market is going to continue to grow and go up over time. Even if there's short downticks, it won't be there to last. So don't panic sell. Don't shy away. I know a lot of people have been like kind of leaving their kind of TCG stores. I'm not advised doing that, and I would say stick through with it because the only way you really lose is if you give up. And what I've learned over the years is that the true indicator of a successful store is how long they've been doing it, not how much sales they've had, how much inventory they've bought. It's just the longer you're in this market, the easier it is to succeed. Because if you just leave the market whenever there's a downturn or you give up when things aren't as hot, I think that just shows quite a few things. But in terms of the business side, like you're just asking to not be successful in a way. And if you stick through with it, stay through the hard times, and then succeed during the good times, you will position yourself very well and succeed greatly, I think. So try to be consistent. Like Rudy says, stay the course, and your time will come, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.